Hey, good morning, everybody. morganslv here once again. 12/6/2010. Gold is $14.20, up $6. Silver, as I checked it just a few minutes ago, $30.07. That's pretty incredible, right? So all these 30-year highs. You get kind of giddy on this kind of stuff when you realize that you're at least the hard asset that you're investing in is holding its own, right, and is not losing value like real estate and some of the other investments out there. My heart goes out to people who are in that situation where their housing and whatnot is worth roughly half what they paid for it. My house is, one of them is anyway. Like I say, I got one paid off and one that I'm paying on. Let's go over job creation for the month of November. They were putting out, touting that they expected 150,000 jobs to be created. They created 39,000, and I don't know what jobs they created, but I can almost bet you they're not the kind that we need. We need savings and production. We need jobs that create production that we can build and sell to the rest of the planet. And that's really, unfortunately, given all of our restraints from the government, all of the rules and regulations that they impose on us, it doesn't happen. If anybody's going to create something from here, if they have a very sharp mind at all, most likely they're going to be creating it in a foreign country, moving all their labor force over there so that they can make a profit. And can you really blame them? I mean, I'm in business to make a profit. I mean, I'm not altruistic. I'm not, I do care about people and I care about the situations that people are in, but the bottom line is I am in business to make a profit, and I don't see any reason why they shouldn't be as either. Somebody asked Ron Paul what he saw going on with interest rates. He says, he sees low interest rates for years. My question is, what's going to happen? What's going to happen now? I mean, if you have artificially low interest rates continuing, what has it done in the past? Look what it's done to the housing bubble, right? You wouldn't have had all those liar loans, those pick a payment loans, those funny loans had interest rates been at a was set by free market. And so when you do that, it skews the market and creates a bubble. Well, we had the real estate bubble, and God knows what's going to happen next. I know that we're basically in a sovereign debt crisis right now, and they just continue on. And the more and more I research this, the more and more I'm just at home with the fact that they know exactly what the hell they're doing. They're doing it on purpose, and you and I need to prepare as best we can. It punishes savers. Savers are losers. I've heard Robert Kiyosaki say that many times. People go into debt to win. Bottom line is, I remember I was reading one of Kiyosaki's books. His dad called him when Nixon took us off the gold standard that we were on. I think we were tethered at 35% gold standard at that time in 1971. Don't quote me on that, but it's somewhere in there. And his rich dad wrote him a letter and said, the rules of money have now changed. And so, wow, he was correct, right? Get this. As much as we are in debt, we have hundreds of embassies all over the planet. The average cost to build an embassy is $10 billion per. Holy crap. And we have them all over the world. We spend $2 billion a week in Afghanistan alone. $2 billion a week. Can't we bring them home, man? Can't we, I don't know, have some responsibility? Just saying. My dad is 75, my father-in-law is 80. And I thought they were going to miss this mess. I don't think they're going to miss this stuff. One of the things that I told my father-in-law the other day is I said, George, one of the things that really has surprised me is I thought my the older members of my family were going to miss what's going on. I don't think they're going to miss it. I don't think our children and our grandchildren are going to be paying for this, alone. I think all of us are going to be paying for it as well. It's coming, and it's coming now. Raising the debt ceiling to 14 to 15 trillion. The dollar's going to die, right? It's funny, these politicians like Jim Cramer, I was just watching him, he was saying, well, if we don't increase the debt ceiling, what is that going to do to the markets? It's going to freak everything out. Well, let me ask you this, Jim Cramer. Let me ask you a question. What happens if the dollar collapses? Then what? What's going to happen to the markets? What's going to happen to the fact that you can't go to the grocery store and spend $1, right? Because it's not going to buy you anything. So think about that before you just keep raising the debt ceiling. Joke of the day. It's a longer joke. See if I can get through this. 3 men go in for an interview. The first one is a mathematician. The second one is an accountant. The third one is an economist. The interviewer asked the mathematician this question first. What does 2 plus 2 equal? His answer, 4. The interviewer says, 4? Are you sure? He stood up, stuck his chest out, and he said, yes, 4 and 4 exactly. The interviewer calls the accountant in, asks him the same question. His answer is 4, give or take 10%, but on average 4. Third guy comes in, the economist. The interviewer asks him the same question. What does 2 plus 2 equal? The economist sits up, gets up, locks all the doors, draws all the shades, sits down next to the interviewer and says, what do you want it to equal? Morgan SLV out.